Hello, and welcome once again to another episode of Third Action. I'm your lovely host, Jason, and these are the same three horses from Harse that were here last week. In the bottom left, we have Regan Belladonna, Academy Wizard, played by Char.
Hello, I just realized my character sheet is telling me I have yet another language I should have learned. Yeah, so oops, I guess I have to learn a language
Start studying.
All right,
in the
time to
next
pick.
5 seconds.
The bottom middle, hopefully with all of his languages intact, it's Mayhem, Vigilante Fighter, played by Will.
Yeah, I think my languages haven't changed. Also, horses from Harse are just horses.
And then in the bottom right, the harsiest horse of all, it's Felix Milos, Maestro Bard, played by Alex.
Maybe Harse is the language that we're learning. We're learning to speak to the horses at Harse.
Horse is not a valid language for selection. But in any case, last time on Third Action, a group of intrepid heroes helped escort two beautiful young ladies out of town who are both suspected of assassinating the previous king, Mr. E027, or Eodred Arabasti II. There we go.
We should know we have a mask of him.
Yes, that's true. You now have a rubber mask of him for fun reasons. But you made your way out to Harse to drop them off. Not all the way to Harse, but to a little inn called the Trot's Inn, where you met up with a contact of Van Carlos, who was willing to take the girls all the way to Harse. And having said your goodbyes, you return to town. That night, Mayhem saw, or I guess Tullios saw, a strange ship in the bay, or in the river, rather. Strange black ship with black sails and an unknown insignia, being bombarded with shots from the Corvosan guard. It sank in the night, and he returned home. In the morning, our other two heroes were surprised with a visit from Grau Soldado, a friendly little guy, a drunkard who they had rehabilitated in book 1 of the adventure, whose niece seems to have caught some kind of mysterious illness and needs your help, or needs Regan's help specifically. So Felix has gone to gather Regan, and the two of them have rushed off to Trail's End, the Verizian slum just outside of Corvosa. And that is where we will pick up today. So let's go on over here. So, as you're walking towards the Soldado home, this conversation can take place basically the entire trip, but from the university to the Soldado's place. But Grau will explain, I don't really know exactly what happened. She, early this morning, her mother called me over and said that she wasn't waking up. I went to see her, and she had some kind of heavy fever or rash. We tried calling an herbalist, but they just gave her some weird potions and it seemed to work. My sister insisted on trying to contact the Church of Abadar, but their prices are just so prohibitive. I may have lied to you a bit earlier when I said we already tried. I just didn't think that she could afford it, and I was hoping that maybe it'd be a bit cheaper.
Yes, well, free is cheaper. That's true.
Oh, I wouldn't ask you to do it for free. I fully intend to pay you. I don't think we can afford the cost of spell casting.
What is like the normal cost of spell casting? I know we had an illness dealt with before.
Yeah, to cast. What was that?
It was a service of some kind, spellcasting services.
Yes, I believe it's under the services. For a spell, a first rank spell is typically 3 gold, 7 for a second, 18 for a third, 40 gold for a fourth, 80 gold for a fifth, etc.
Okay.
And a gold is a lot of money for most people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, for normal people, a single gold is quite a lot. A gold can be like a week's wages for some people. Right, where was I? Oh, yes, you explained that bit of the illness. I'm sorry for getting you up so early, Miss Regan. I knew that you were a doctor, or at least had some kind of medical skill, and I hoped that maybe you could help us out, or at least point us in the right direction.
Yes, well, I can sure try. I can't guarantee anything, but I will have a look at her.
Thank you so much. There it is. And he points at a house up the road as you walk over towards it. Let me get that map open. Let's see. Double check the right spot. This looks darker than it should be. Oh, that's fine. Okay. Bring you over. Aha. Okay. Yeah, you guys are walking down the road. He's pointed at a house up ahead as he walks ahead of you. Here's where she lives. Luckily, my sister and her 2 boys haven't been affected, but I really don't know what's happened. He comes up to the door and opens it. And you hear the sounds of 2 little boys playing. Oh, Rello, please. Keep it down for your mother, okay? Wait. And Grau stops in the doorway as he notices someone ahead of him in the kitchen. What are you doing here? And he kind of marches his way over to the kitchen. And you catch sight of a man in white robes, who is... there's various like gold chains hanging from his robes, many keys dangling from those. Clearly a priest of Abadar. And he is currently holding like a mixing bowl and grinding up some herbs. Oh, you must be her brother? Yes, but I told her I could find someone. You should just leave. I'm sorry, but she's already offered to pay. I don't think... look, I've got someone, okay? It's fine. Sorry, I need to find my page in the book. Are you guys just kind of chilling in the back, watching this happen?
It's like, if there's a cleric here, that's good. Why is he mad at the cleric?
Yeah.
She's like talking to Felix.
I'll scoot over so we can chat quietly, and it's like I too am confused. They seem like the right people for this job, and like I'm happy to help if we can, but
look, I told you she can't afford... Sir, I know that she can't afford the spellcasting service, but I can at least try to offer herbal remedies. Herbal remedies haven't worked. He, annoyed, kind of marches back towards you. let's just head on upstairs, I guess.
Does he
And
know what's wrong with her? Or is he just...
The priest?
Yeah.
I don't know. You could try talking to her, or to him.
Let me take a look at her first, and then I'll compare notes to the priest, or the cleric.
We all stay down here and speak to the...
Unless he's gonna leave. Yeah, then Felix, you talk to him.
He takes interest in who's there at the door, and he'll exit the kitchen and look at the two of you. This man has darker skin than you're used to in Corvosa. It's a very brownish man. A little bit of salt and pepper going on, but there's just a little hint of white in the hair. Maybe in his late 30s, early 40s, perhaps. But he kind of gently smiles at you. Ah, you must be a local doctor of sorts?
Oh no, not a doctor. I'm an academy student with an interest in healthcare.
Ah, so still in training. Well, if you want to come have a look, I would be happy to go with you.
Yes, I'd be curious to know what you found or discovered, especially with you seem to be making herbs for something.
I'm not convinced that they'll work, but come. And he'll kind of scooch past and make his way up the stairs.
Whee! I'll follow.
You should be able to click the little staircase
Oh.
and warp your way over.
There we
There you
go.
Magic.
You walk up the stairs. This dwelling is pretty small and pretty cramped, and fairly rickety. Like as you walk up the stairs, the floorboards all creak. It's clean enough. Like it's not a dirty place. It's just very well worn, very haphazardly built, perhaps. And as you make your way upstairs, it's like a kind of one large room. There's a couple of crates of clothing, with like some scraps of clothing scattered about. There's a single table in the corner. And you see there in the corner of the room is a single bed, with a young girl lying in it, coughing, and a woman who appears to be her mother sitting in a chair beside the bed, clearly exhausted. She's got like bags under her eyes. She looks very, very tired. Oh, Ishani, is that you? The woman says as she stands up. Oh, and who were they? I believe your brother brought these people, ma'am. Yeah, they're friends of mine from work. Tace, this is Regan, and Felix. Regan's been studying medicine, and she's quite good with magic as well, so if this is a magical illness, maybe she might be able to do something about it. The woman, she seems to, like, not have the... She seems like she's been crying for a while and is just, like, emotionally exhausted and doesn't quite know how to respond. Yes, if you want to take a look. And she gestures at the girl.
Ew.
Oh, and I guess I can show you what Tace looks like. Let's see. How do I do that? I'll pop this open, click that button. So here's Tace, Verizian woman. She's a little bit pale, but has dark hair, It's kind of messy, a bit unkempt from probably she hasn't had time to make it all nice and pretty this morning. And she's wearing red with like a yellow scarf thrown around her neck. And the girl in the bed, who Tace will introduce to you as Brianna, looks like this. Kind of the spitting image of her mother, but only like 15, 16 at the most. She seems really, really ill, obviously. She is kind of writhing on the bed. She's got blankets thrown over her, and she seems to be unconscious, but is just coughing up a storm.
Ugh. Well, my goodness. Was this a very sudden illness?
It seemed like it, Tace says, looking kind of forlorn. It was... She was out late last night, and it's normal for her. She likes to go out exploring and things, and willful children like them, it's hard to stop. When I tried to wake her this morning for breakfast, she was... I noticed that she was covered in these red spots, and she was having a really hard time breathing. I normally go to my job fairly early in the morning, but I had to call in sick today so I could deal with this. She looks back at her daughter there. I haven't noticed her acting weird the last couple of days, but I admit I've been busy. She didn't say anything. She just suddenly was like this, and it just seems to have gotten worse as the hours have gone on.
Do you mind if I take a closer look?
Oh, certainly. And she'll sit back down in the chair.
I'll come over to the side of the bed and...
I guess I should ask, are you doing anything special?
Anything special?
Yes, like are you wearing a mask or anything of the sort?
Oh yes, I've put on my mask.
Because you guys mentioned masks earlier. I don't know if you were intending to wear any masks or gloves or anything like that.
Well, we got a like mask, right?
The thunder. Yeah, we
Good.
had the masks from. I'm not wearing the I could wear the terrifying mask. Wait, that has like a bonus to something.
I would say you probably weren't wearing the terrifying mask when you walked in the door, but you could switch to it.
I was not wearing it. Yeah, I was wearing the normal mask until I just remembered.
The medical masks that you got from
the basic,
the hideout. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They were in the Dead Warrens.
Yeah, I would have one on as well. Like I would put it on as we stand here.
Person action, water purifiers. Plague mask attempts to counteract any inhaled poisons or airborne diseases each round you breathe. All right. Yeah, I will probably switch to it to get a closer look.
Okay.
Just for safety.
All right. Any other precautions that you're taking?
I already have my gloves on. And I think that's probably, it would just be the gloves and the mask.
Okay.
I think that would be my main precautions. I do have things I could... I don't think I have anti-plague, actually.
Someone bought all that up.
I actually, if you make a mention, you'll see that Felix has
she'll
a couple on him.
pat her bag and be like, oh, I didn't get any I
I'll hold
swear
up
I
one,
did.
but in that moment, I might turn to Ashanti and ask, is this meaningfully different from what you were preparing?
Yes, they weren't able to afford anything more than just herbs, so as shameful as it is, I wasn't permitted to offer much.
And if you let me, the anti-plague gives you like a bonus against disease, right? So it's like a
Yes.
preventative
I think it
thing?
depends on which anti-plague level it is. It lasts for different amounts of time. Oh no, I think they just all last for 24 hours. Is this anti-plague lesser?
This is anti-plague moderate. I just dropped the
Oh,
link.
even more.
Ooh.
So yeah, if you use that, you can go ahead and pop that effect on yourself. The moderate effect there. It gives you a +3 to fortitude saves versus diseases for the next 24 hours.
Alright. This diseased town. Because I could have sworn I bought some. Don't have them in my backpack. Must not. Oh, are they in my...
They might be at
That'd be
school.
funny. Did I bring them? Well, she was tired, you know. She wasn't thinking.
It's okay. I
Thank you, Mr.
explicitly took a
Felix.
minute to go grab them. They were sitting at the bar before we left. So I'm happy to give you one.
Felix hands you one. You pop a swig before approaching. And yeah, there's this girl. She's lying there on the bed. She's coughing, twisting, turning.
Well, I guess I'll try.
And let me spell their names for you, because it's a bunch of names. So, Grau Soldado, Grau, and then his sister is Tayce, Tayce Soldado. The two boys downstairs are Rello, Rello, and Charlo, Chrlo. And then this is Brienna, Brienna. And then this guy, the Abadar priest here, he tells you his name is Ishani Datri. Ishani Dhatri. And if you wanted, you could do a society check to determine where he might be from based on his name.
I don't think I'm doing anything health related, so I'll see what I can remember.
Okay. His name sounds Vudran to you, Felix, and given his looks, yeah, he's probably from Vudra. Vudra. Okay. So Regan, you approached the girl, and what are you gonna do? Starting with
examine her to see if is this like filth fever? What is this? Are these symptoms very similar?
Okay. What's your first approach? Are you going for just visual, or are you gonna do like a full like hands-on inspection?
I'm gonna do a visual first, and then if I'm not like quite sure, I'll go from there.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a blind medicine check.
And I have the...
If you want to use hero points, you can just roll twice.
Okay.
Oh, and I don't think I told the actual whole session, once we started, but today's card is the Hidden Truth. Ooh. Lets you heighten a spell as you're casting it by 1 rank. All right.
Rolling once for this one. So
Rolling
there's
once
no
for this
second
one.
coming.
Okay. You're looking her over, and as you're watching her, she seems something about this doesn't seem right. You catch sight of she kind of like tosses the covers and you catch sight of her arm. That rash that she's got, those are like, the boils don't look quite like the kind of rash that you get with filth fever. Something's off about it. And usually filth fever doesn't progress this quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, she's young, but it seems really aggressive for filth fever. Unless maybe she's had it for multiple days, you're not sure.
Like in the two cases we ran into, both Tullios and the horse store merchant, they developed visible rashes before they really started to develop other symptoms. So,
Yes.
this is too fast.
And even then, those
Mayhem
were
was slow.
yeah, and even then, both of those were very mild rashes. They seemed very mild, like it was a reddening of the skin, a little bit of bumps. This girl has seems like she's got like big open sores.
I want to take a close look, but if they're really big, let me think. Ooh. Wait, did I not take it today? That'd be really funny. Because, well, I didn't prepare my spells today.
Yeah, you did.
No.
You did not take the time yet. You can always take an hour at any point during the day to actually prep your spells.
Is this a... Give me one
Oh, I
sec.
guess by this point, I think it's probably like 7:30 in the morning.
Right, this would have been a good spell to prep, but alas. Oh dear. Well, that's okay. Okay, I don't think any of these will work. Oh, wait, do I have it in here? There's so much crap. Ooh, can this interact with anything? Can Phantasmal Minion, lift up things for you and,
Yeah.
or can it just, alright.
Yeah,
I
Phantasmal Mini can do things for you.
Okay.
Typically, you set it to, repeatable tasks, but you can tell it to do specific things, yeah, in the room.
Okay. Because I think that will work. So she's going to take out a scroll of Phantasmal Minion, of which I apparently have 4. Good for me. And she's going to use this to summon... Oh, I can make it like...
Oh, yeah,
it
you can
doesn't have to
choose
be
the
invisible.
appearance. Yeah.
It'll just be another me.
Okay.
Like a
It's
ghost
like
version
a...
of me.
it'll be like a ghostly version of yourself. That's kind of, yeah, forms in the light of the window.
Like, there it is. And she's going to direct it to kind of like...
Everyone in the room gasps slightly, but
No, it's
they
fine.
don't.
It's a real ghost.
They're just surprised.
I'm just gonna have it kind of come over, move the sheet a bit, and lift up the arm so she can get lean in and get a closer look to do a more thorough examination of what these interesting boils might actually be, instead of oh, they're unusual for
Yeah.
filth fever. What is
Okay.
this?
Yeah, another medicine check.
And I will do double rolling on this. Does the wasting disease note still work here on this?
Ooh, let me see. What did your wasting disease notes say?
Because they were when I was looking up filth fever and stuff that the king might have had.
Yeah, I'll allow that to work here.
Okay.
Yeah, +1 on diseases that might have killed the king. Yeah.
Let's see. I'm going to do 2 rolls. So I'm going to roll that, and then I'll do...
And you had 6 hero points. You're down to 5.
Oh, I had so many. We'll use them all. There we go. Okay. 2 rolls. My sunglasses.
Okay. So you take the time. I'm gonna say that takes like 30 minutes
Mhm.
to do a proper, like, thorough 20, 25, 30. To do like a pretty thorough examination using the phantasmal minion to like do all of the like lifting of her body parts and turn her over and sort of thing. Let me see if I can get you the kind of description of what's going on. Yeah, so she's got the rash is in like big red splotches. They're on her face, they're on her arms. They're in very like irregular shapes and sizes. Some are on her back as well. Those seem to be a little bit larger. And she's having these intermittent hacking coughs that like jerk her entire body and lift her well off the bed. And that lasts for a moment, and then she'll kind of go back to like her normal breathing, but her normal breathing is very, very labored. The symptoms here and what you've heard about it so far don't sound like any disease you're familiar with. As in, like, you've got your notes out with you, you're like checking, you start with filth fever. This isn't quite like filth fever, it's a little bit too rapid. These symptoms seem a little bit too extreme. You like check her eyes, she seems to just be like totally out of it. You like can't seem to really wake her, but not in the same way that you can't wake someone from shiver. So you kind of rule out shiver poisoning. You just go through like your entire list of things that you would think this should be, and you're pretty confident that this one's not in the textbooks. This is something strange.
Just like that poison. Possible poison. We don't know if it was real.
Yeah, possibly, yeah. You think she's in pretty bad. She is going to probably need a proper spell to cure this. Or like dedicated. Sorry, I opened the door. She will either need a medium to high level spell to cure this, to remove the disease, or she will, and that might take multiple attempts on itself, so it might need multiple castings, or she will need multiple days of dedicated treat disease care, which I think treat disease is an action that you can take, but it's like a downtime activity.
It's 8 hours.
Yeah. So yeah, you can take 8 hours to try to care for her at a time, to try to lessen her symptoms and like pull the disease back, and that might take a couple days depending on how bad it is. It seems pretty bad. She seems, her breathing is so labored and she's so out of it that her mother would mention that she hasn't eaten this morning, she hasn't been able to get her to swallow anything. No water, no food. So if that continues, she will very quickly die. So this girl maybe has a couple days to live at most, without having direct treatment and or disease removal spells cast.
Is this magical in any way, or is this just like a disease?
Do you have detect magic on you or read aura today?
Yeah, do I? Oh, look at that. I don't have read magic on me today. Are you kidding? I took nothing. Nope. I don't have detect magic. Whoops.
Like if it's an hour to prep them all, maybe after this you sit and prepare a couple of specific spells to use in trying to discover more.
Okay, so yeah, at least for now, without detect magic, you haven't noticed anything that seems magical. These all seem like very, very physical symptoms. And, also, you don't find any sign of injury on her. She does not seem to have been bitten, or scratched or slashed. You see where she's been scratching herself. It looks like she's been scratching herself on her arms. And with that roll, it actually seems like she's been scratching herself for maybe multiple days on the arms. Like there's parts that she's clearly scratched pretty vigorously, and those have healed over a little bit. And maybe as recently as yesterday, there's like some fresher scratch marks, but those seem to be probably from her hand size.
She's been itching for a few.
Yeah.
Regan's gonna look over at see a priest or a cleric. I keep saying different words.
Either.
Does it matter? Okay. She looks over at the cleric and it's like, are you a magic man? Do you have any detect magic on you today, by chance?
Ah, I am, yes. And he'll walk over.
What do you make of this? Do I have to pay you to detect magic?
He looks down. For a cantrip, the prices that Abadar specifies are, well, he doesn't specify for those, so I believe that should be fine. And he seems hesitant, like he seems kind of annoyed by that.
Wait, which part of it? That is.
Yeah, is he annoyed by the rules he has to follow, or the that
he seems annoyed? He seems annoyed by the rules. It seems like he wants to help more than he's able to.
Okay, he's not like, I wish cantrips cost money.
No. He seems frustrated that he has to like mention price at all.
It's fine. It's your god.
Have to be.
But yes, I can. I've actually already. If you're trying to assess the magical nature of her ailment, I haven't been able to detect anything.
That's probably more than I could do too. Also, you just really suck at detecting.
Not to say that the original source could have been magical in nature, but whatever magic was there has run its course, if it was present.
Well, whatever it is, it's nothing I've ever seen before. She has a variety of symptoms. And she's been jotting stuff kind of down in a notebook. She has a little separate one.
There have been a couple of cases this morning at the temple. They were removed by spells. I treated one myself, but he kind of sighs. The best I can offer at the moment is herbal treatments to ease the cough.
Did you ask any of the patients where they think they may have gotten it from?
I did, but none of them seemed to say anything. Or seemed to know of any others who had the disease. They had just been going about their daily routine for the last couple of days and suddenly had this nasty rash, much like hers. But their cases were much less advanced than this. I'm afraid this poor girl has gotten it quite badly.
And how much would you say it would cost to heal her?
He kind of like he can't like look you in the eye.
And she's staring. She's staring at him.
More than the family can afford, I'm afraid.
That wasn't what I was asking. I was asking the cost. The exact.
The
Down to
DM
the
is trying
copper
to
cup.
remember
I
which
know.
spell is needed to remove it. Fuck, where's the spell list? Because the spell name changed between editions and between the remaster, so I don't remember.
Okay, that was. I looked at the languages for like 2 seconds. Like, I actually have to look up what all the languages are now because I don't know. They changed the names.
Cleanse affliction.
Yeah.
I think
If we're quibbling over
Oh,
an
it's a
amount
cleanse
that's
affliction. Okay.
expensive for the family but affordable for us, I'm sort of inclined to just pay it.
Okay.
If they end up wanting 20 platinum, that's a different story.
Yeah, if it's 20 platinum, I was like, all right, we'll be
So
back.
I'm afraid that lower ranks of spells were not functional on the disease. A 4th rank or higher is likely needed to cure it, especially in this advanced state. By typical prices, that would go about 40 gold.
Oh boy. Do you want to know how much gold I have on me right now? Would you guess that it's exactly 40 gold? It's actually 40.05 gold.
Oh my.
Got 5 copper.
Well, if you're willing to pay for them, then I can certainly make that happen. I'm afraid to say that I don't have any more castings of the spell available today, but I can come first thing in the morning if you're able to keep her stable until then.
Well, I guess that'll be my job to do. But I can do it as long as she looks over at the mother whose name I wrote down just so I would remember it.
Tracy.
Yeah. Tracy? Or is it?
It's Tace. It's Tace.
Hey.
Oh, I was like, I'm going to get messed up. I'm like, I wrote it down.
That's Tracy now.
Is that all
Yes,
right?
You would do this for us?
There's like this long pause because she actually is doing it for like a slightly different reason, which she's like, what do people, yes, yeah, well, that guy, he gave us a sword. Didn't he give you your sword, Felix? That sword's worth 40 gold, I bet. I can pay back.
Oh, well then, of course, we'll be in your debt, but anything, please save my daughter.
Yes. Well, do you need payment up front, Mr. Clark?
Payment can be provided when the service is rendered. He
Good.
says with kind of a sigh.
A successful service, mind you.
Yes, only on success.
Yes, it's free otherwise. I would hope. God, that would be awful. Like, oh, we couldn't save her. It's the American healthcare system.
You say that, but typically that is indeed how it goes.
Well, Off with you. I guess you can't dismiss him. He's just hanging out here.
He stands there
Well-
awkwardly waiting and then realizes that you're sort of waiting for him to leave and yes, well, here, and he leaves the bowl that he was mulching on the table. These herbs should help with her cough, but if you need anything else, please find me at the vault.
Actually, before you go, I do have a question. You seem like someone who would not have patient confidentiality in their blood. Can you get me the names of the people you treated?
Oh, the names, we don't normally ask for those. I'm afraid I don't really know.
Well, if anyone comes in that's sick like this, could you get their names?
I'll endeavor to do so, yes.
Yeah.
I can tell you that of the 5 or 6 people we saw, they were all from North Point or Old Corvosa.
I was going to ask that. Oops. Let's see.
Granted, the first, the vault is in the north part of town. I imagine that people from the south might not have made their way up that far if it's widespread, but in any event, thank you for looking after her. And he'll kind of briskly make his way out. Grau is like crying.
That's fine. People cry all the time. Crying is good for you. Releases stress.
I knew asking you would be the right thing to do.
Hey, you gave Felix his cool sword. Is that Felix that has a sword, or is that Tully? Am I just saying it's
It's
Felix?
Felix.
It's
Okay.
me. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
it's a
accurate.
cool sword. We'll just paying you back for the sword, you know.
If that's what it takes for the Soldado sword. That's what it takes. He can barely string together thoughts. I'm gonna go. And he heads downstairs.
Hi, Felix. She's just actually writing a bunch of notes down and saying like North Point, Old Corvo. She's like, I need a map. That's what I need. Need to figure out.
Do you need anything? While you're treating her, perhaps I can...
Oh yes, if you can get me a map of Corvosa, that's actually
map?
very helpful.
Sure. I can probably find one. I think my neighbor has one. And she'll rush out as well.
She's actually gonna move a bit over here, a little farther away. She doesn't want to be all up in the business. Yeah, the minion can just chill out.
Maybe the minion can help administer the herbs.
Yeah,
Just
like-
so.
Tucks her in. Every time she coughs, it tucks her back in.
Okay, you just instruct the minion to keep tucking her back in.
Yeah, like make sure she doesn't fall out of the bed. Tuck back in. Doing a great job.
Oh, how long does Phantasmal Minion last? It might be...
Sustained.
It's sustained? Okay. Wow, they changed it to sustained? I thought it was like 24 hours or something. Maybe that's
I think
5e.
we used to have a time period.
Oh, yeah.
This
Yeah.
is sustained.
Well, unfortunately, you can only sustain for 10 minutes, but...
That's okay. It'll do that for 10 minutes. And then it will go away. Goodbye.
Well, and now the two of you are left here in this house. Give
We have a
me
miss-
both blind fortitude save.
Oh, dear God. What are my bonuses?
You would have +3 from that anti
So it's
Anti-plague.
anti-plague potion. And I would
it's already
too.
applied. I think I have
Oh,
the
did you
one.
also drink one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I will take them out of my inventory after this roll.
I have the anti-plague. Well groomed. What is this? When did I take this? I took this last level. What does this do?
Oh, is it a catfolk feat?
Yeah, hold on, I have to
Sounds
read
like a catfolk feat.
it. Is.
It's a circumstance bonus to saving throws against diseases. If you
Yeah,
get a
well,
success, you get a critical success instead.
Okay, does this apply?
Yes, well groomed would apply.
Let me see. It's the anti-plague, the well-groomed. Recognize spell does not. What does my mask do?
You're already getting a +3 item bonus from the
So it
from the
doesn't
anti-plague, so the item bonus from the mask won't matter.
Okay, cool. That's all I need to know.
All right, there's Felix's, and there's Regan's. And if you want to use a point to reroll, you can. I'm not saying that your rolls are good or bad. Just
How often would we have to do this being in the same room as somebody?
I mean, it's really based on individual exposures. I'm not telling you whether or not you have exposed yourselves. I'm just making you roll so that you think you might have.
Okay. I don't know if
Yeah,
it was
you
just like every time you're in the vicinity of this, you have to do it.
It could. It depends on the type of thing. Sometimes it's every time you're exposed to it, which is like every time you get stabbed by the thing that is diseased. You'd have to re-roll. Sometimes it's once an hour while you're in the area, if it's like a inhaled thing. Sometimes it's once a day. Here I'm having you roll and then once, and that will cover any... If you have done the correct type of contact for this disease, then this will cover that in this time period. So I'm just doing one roll for now. So if you're just trying to maximize, yes, you can. This is the roll to re-roll on.
All right, that's what I was trying to see if it was like if it's like just a common.
Yes, this one will cover like the rest of the day probably.
Okay, I will re-roll mine.
Yeah,
'cause I
same.
don't like
Reroll
this.
and keep higher.
Okay.
I will keep the lower one.
All right. Okay.
Mystery.
Well, so is your plan then, Regan, to treat her disease for today?
Yes,
And
that is
spend
my
your 8
plan.
hours treating the disease? Okay. So at the end of the day, we'll have you roll a medicine check to treat disease, and see how well you do on that to see whether or not she progresses the disease. And obviously you can do things to... if you need other things to gather, you can obviously have Felix help do that. Or let's go ahead and jump to our good buddy, Tully.
What's he up to?
It's a good question. What is Tully up to?
So you had a long, late night.
Mm-hmm. So actually, I still need to sleep. In fact, because it's only been 4 or 5 days since Tully was resurrected, I believe.
Yes, I think so.
So he's still recuperating and feeling weak.
Yeah. It's currently 8. We'll skip some hours, assuming that they're just doing medicine stuff, taking care of her. So when do you think Tully might wake up?
It was
He went to bed
early.
around 2.
I was going to
or
say if
3.
it was 2 or 3, then yeah, he'd sleep a full 8 hours easy. So 11, I think, would be reasonable.
Okay. So yeah, around 11, he's at least... he's still exhausted, but no longer feels like he couldn't sleep.
Yeah. At some point, he's up and starting to move and do things. And after knowing that there's a mess to clean up in the bay at this point, the river, whereabout was it exactly? It was somewhere up here near the Narrows, or was it actually further to the north in the actual river?
Oh, I accidentally hid the thing, but it is right here.
Ah, okay.
This is the spot in the river. In the middle of the Jagari River, between Trails End and North Point. All the way in the north side of town.
I think I'm going to report it at the Citadel and see what I can do to assist. I may not be necessary for that aspect of things, but...
Okay. Well, you report into the Citadel, and things are pretty busy today.
Are they not?
Let's see. It sounds like there's you hear rumors of there being some crowds at the local temples. They're assigning some of the guards to go do crowd work, crowd control. You're not sure why. Do you ask about or do you try to find info? Some people, I guess, yeah, you're a guard. Some of the guards would mention the ship from last night. And I guess the thing you would hear is that it sounds like the order came down pretty quickly to blow up the ship, and that it seemed successful. Some people say it might be a pirate ship. Some people think it might have been like a plague ship, where you load up a bunch of people who have the plague and send them off to a foreign country. Sounds like it had a Nidalese flag from
That's an
Nidal.
act of war, if that's what happened.
It would be. That's why people are chattering about it. If it's a plague ship from Nidal, that's fighting words.
Yeah, words, to say the least. Never mind the people who just died for terrible reasons.
Yeah, it sounds like some of the guard have been assigned to investigate that, but that seems to be an ongoing thing. I guess for you... Oh, yeah?
If they need the assistance, I wouldn't mind giving assistance in investigating that, but I'm not sure if I could be of any assistance. I might be better.
Yeah, you can try to help with that. Let's see. It wouldn't quite be firefighting lore to assist with that.
No.
I guess you already rolled your firefighting lore, so you'll get your 2 silver regardless.
Sure.
Yeah, if you want to spend your 8 hours assisting the investigation, yeah, you help ask around town, trying to find any leads on what was up with that ship. Where did it come from? Who saw it? One of the first thing that they have you do is actually go out to the Jagare Light, the old lighthouse in the north part of town. And you interrogate the guard there, and they say it appeared in the harbor around midnight, off in the distance. Had like bright yellow torches hanging from it. They also claimed Nidalese flag on the sails. Big black ship. They thought it might have been a ghost ship or something weird, but then it came into the harbor, and that's when they ended up alerting the guard.
And the Nidalese flag, trying to remember what that looks like.
Oh yeah, I can describe to you the Nidal flag. It's got a skull on it.
That would be distinctive, sure.
Yeah, it's a I don't have it in. Oh, maybe I could. I'll put it in Discord real quick. But it's a red escutcheon, I guess, a kind of shield shape, with a white skull in the top center, with two shackles kind of hanging out of the eyes. And I'll paste this in Discord real quick to show you. And I'll see if I can do a quick save. I should have put it in
Evocative.
there, but I didn't.
So Milos ship, bright yellow torches,
Yes.
and Pure on Midnight, dark ship.
I think Nidal is really into, like, Zon Kuthon.
They are packed with Zonkuthon, if I recall.
Yeah.
Going back some centuries, I think to Earthfall, in fact. But they're
But
not
that's
our
probably
friends.
about as much as
They're gonna get.
Tully might know about it.
Has Nidal ever done this to us or to anybody nearby before? Because that is pretty dramatic.
Roll a society check.
Secret?
It can be public.
Sure. 18. Even.
18. You don't recall it ever happening to this city. You have heard of, in history, there having been plague ships. And yes, they are either declarations of war, or they literally just put a bunch of sick people on a ship just to send them away. And where they go doesn't matter as long as they're not here. So it's a thing that you've heard about can happen. They do tend... in history, they have flown black sails and shown yellow torches, but you've never heard of it actually happening, like, for real, in memory.
Well, that's unsettling. I will thank them for their time and vigilance. Vigilance, excuse me. Diligence. And head back. It's a pretty long
Okay.
trek, I imagine, out there and back, but...
Yeah, it is a very long trek, because you're gonna have to go out through the High Bridge or North Bridge, and you came from the Citadel, so yeah, you have to make your way
It's
all the way around the city and
half
back.
day you've gone just to get out there, talk to them, come back.
Go ahead, give me a sense mode of, like, a perception as well. I have lost track of where you are on the board. I
am
moved you slightly.
over here.
Okay, there you are.
That helps. Perception. And that is secrets.
Okay. Your interaction with the people in the lighthouse, the guards in the lighthouse, seemed a little odd. They seemed slightly rehearsed.
Oh.
Like, they had a story, like, they seemed to have their story, like, very well put together and kind of told it to you pretty directly.
Like somebody had told them what to say, or that they didn't want to say what they had actually seen, so they came up with something to cover.
You're not sure which of those two, but
way,
either
fairly
could be
rehearsed.
possible. There was like a little bit of nervousness there, and a like performativeness to the way they told you about what they saw. Oh, and at the end of they're alerting the guard was like ringing the bells, which the warning bells just kind of cascaded, and
Sure.
as you probably would have interviewed the guards at the castle walls as well, or the city walls as well, and they would tell you that they heard the alarms. Those alarms mean bad ship. They have to fire on it, so they did.
Did they see the same thing, the same yellow torches and the black sails, Needleese flag?
Yes. Yeah, they will tell you that they saw the same thing. Italy's flag, black sails, yellow torches.
Do they also sound rehearsed?
Perception check on them.
More question marks. Well, I hear some fires.
You hear some fire. These guys seem unsure of themselves. Why am I suddenly getting rated by bots on Twitch? Oh no, there's so many of them. I don't know if you guys can even see that, but
Oh goodness, yeah.
Bots.
oh god, there's so many.
Whee.
Okay. I don't know what's happening.
That was fun.
It was like 6 spots in a row. Shit, what was I saying? Yeah, telling you these guys. No, they seem like pretty much just like they followed the protocol. They all seem worried. They're not sure what that ship was. Seems like nothing bad has happened. And they haven't heard anything about any like war with Nadal or anything like that, so someone made the call.
But their story of what they've seen does sound legitimate enough that I don't think they're making that up.
Yeah, they seem very uncertain about what they saw, where the guy is at the lighthouse seemed a little bit too certain of what they saw.
As it was dark, after all. Okay. That's concerning.
And you actually know one of the guys here, and he wouldn't lie to you.
We're on the up and up, that's fine. And that's actually reassuring, so... I kind of want to dig into more about what these guards who work the lighthouse might have been up to prior to them working at the lighthouse last night.
Ah, okay. Just specifically what they were doing
Were they
that night?
Were they
Or, like, during the day?
assigned? Yeah, were they assigned elsewhere? That they were then suddenly assigned to the lighthouse that night? Are they regularly working the lighthouse? Is this?
Ah, okay. You're looking for like assignment records. That would be back at the Citadel.
Yeah, I think.
I'll throw you
that's
into the river and then.
Just start swimming as strong.
Yeah, you go back to the Citadel to check the records for last night. They keep pretty good logs about who's supposed to be on duty where. And these guys who are on lighthouse duty, they're both relatively new. They started at the guard like a month ago, and they've had the lighthouse duty before, but they had only been assigned in like single days at a time before, and it looks like they were assigned for this entire week. And what is today? Today is Oath Day. So it looks like they were assigned from last Sunday, the 17th, through this Star Day, the 23rd. And the record seems to be that the other two guys who are normally who do most of the shifts there at the lighthouse, they're both sick.
Ah, is that the explanation?
they're both like in the logbooks as they're out
Being
sick this week.
out-billed. Okay.
Yeah.
But normally they do that. Most of the shifts, and these other two would be covering for them being gone.
Yeah. Those two guys are like the replacements. Typically, they're the subs. They're not the normal guys on lighthouse duty there.
Okay. So these replacements. Any notes on where they might have worked prior to coming onto the guard? Like, this isn't... I want to make sure that this is, in fact, what they saw, and that they're reporting everything correctly, and this isn't, like, a false flag operation of some kind.
Sure.
Let
Let me see. What would that be?
Shellyax would be my primary thought, but could be something else, too.
I think that would be a society check to try and dig into the records further. And figure out more about who these two guys are.
Blind? Public?
Yeah, blind. We'll go blind.
Blind. Question marks.
Okay. You do some digging, and it looks like one of these guys used to actually be a steward at the castle, at Castle Corvosa, just like a house manager type person. And the other one is a seems to be an immigrant from Cheliax. And it looks like this is maybe his first job here. He's listed as having worked for like a bakery in Cheliax somewhere prior. On his like application, he just lists some bakery.
Well, this is concerning. I don't like that this links back to the castle, but that would be the next thing to check, besides just confronting them tonight, which might actually be the next plan. So I will just continue my investigations otherwise to see if there's anything other than what's been reported that people saw. I mean, it sounds like they didn't hail at all, they didn't say anything. What the torches are related to it being like a plague ship traditionally, is that right?
Yeah, that's a signal of a plague ship.
The black sails and the torches.
And the yellow torches. Yeah, it's like a warning to not go close to the ship.
Who set off the bells initially?
It sounds like the lighthouse did the initial like alert, and you're not sure which commander set off the like shoot that thing down alert. That's another society check. You could spend
I
another
think that's going to be
block of
the
time.
next. Yeah.
And that's probably the last block of time you
Yeah,
have for
makes
the
sense.
shift. Yeah.
Okay. So then we'll do the last check just to see who it was who made the decision to destroy the ship.
Okay. That's interesting. It's a guard member. Well, they were listed as a guard member, but looks like they were actually taken out of the guard very recently. That's odd. Their role is listed as Grey Maiden. You haven't heard that term before. It just says Grey Maiden unit, and that's in like new. It's like written in like fresh pen.
Is that related to the Great Gardeners from Galt?
Maybe. You don't think so?
Huh. Yeah, I don't know. Great Mate. Well, unless we have another company that's been formed around that I'm not aware of. Where do they derive the authority then? Is there any way for me to check that? Like, if they're capable of ordering the guard to shoot on a ship, I imagine they've got authority from someplace high up. They're connected to the Sable Company or something.
Yeah, if you're sifting around in the records, you don't find much. But if you do you ask anyone?
I think so. At this point, it's starting to. I need to dig into who gave the order to fire on the ship without finding out what they're about, even.
Yeah, you ask about the guard, or ask one of the clerks there in the guard's office. Oh, the Grey Maidens, they report directly to the Queen. Have you seen them? They're pretty cool. A lot of them are ex-guard members. It's that new all-female unit that she's built
fancy
up.
armor. That's cool.
Yeah, those.
Grey Maidens are what they're called.
Yeah, they've taken up residence in the Longacre building, I've heard. They're using it as a new training facility and headquarters. And the Queen has sounds like given them commander authority over units of the guard.
I shall have to be very careful then not to step on toes if I'm going asking, but sounds like they're the next place to check, but tomorrow, not tonight.
Good luck with that. They're not very forthcoming with us guard members.
Perhaps not. If not, then so be it. That's the end of my investigation, is checking on who authorized the ship being destroyed, besides going out to the ship itself, but I don't think I will be equipped to do that. So.
Well, I'll catch you later. My shift's over about now, so.
Alright. I'm gonna take off too, I think.
Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Some hours passed while Tully was doing his shift. The rest of you. Would you have done anything interesting, noteworthy, other than taking care of Brianna?
No, if Regan got her map from the neighbor.
Oh, yes. Yeah, you would have gotten it's a slightly older map, pretty well used, but it's just borrowed from the neighbors.
Oh, is it borrowed, or is it... Can I keep the map? Are they attached to their map?
He said I could use it for as long as needed, so it's probably fine. I can buy him a new map later. Don't worry about it.
Okay. She's gonna be writing on this map. It's like, here's your map back. It's got weird circles and arrows and crap on it. Yeah. So, cause she's...
So yeah, you just have it's just a map of Corvosa. It probably doesn't have all of the modern businesses on it, but it's a few years old, probably.
Yeah, she's mostly plotting that the cleric said that North Point and Old Corvosa seem to have stuff, even though he doesn't know if the South had anything. So yeah. She's kind of writing notes of where people are getting sick to see if maybe she can narrow down a common place. Yeah, that it's coming from. And she'll just be doing that while taking care of everything. Sickly.
All right. Well, the parents didn't mention knowing where Brianna had been running around. I might try and see if the boys might know a bit more.
Okay. Yeah, you talk to the boys.
There's a different level of truth between parents and kids.
Sure. Let's see. Let me jump back to that map then. Activate. Okay. So you're downstairs with the boys. I guess. Taste
If Regan
will
needs
probably-
anything, I'll head back up to like help out. But otherwise, I'm sort of keeping them company.
At some point, Grau probably would have had to go to work himself. But Tace is here to help out with anything that you need. But yeah, so downstairs you're talking to the boys. They're both no older than 8. They're quite young. Hey, mister, is our sister gonna get better?
Reagan's doing her best, and I think she does a pretty good job. So yes, with any luck.
Oh, that's good. I want to play with her again. Yeah, she owes me a sweet cake.
What games do you play?
Well, we actually haven't gotten to play mini games these days. We've all been so busy with work.
Oh, it's understandable. But hopefully you will get to play another game soon.
Yeah, I hope so. It's the slightly older one, Charlo, who has got the long hair, who's doing most of the talking.
Okay. When you did get to play games, like where would you run around and play? Around here?
Oh yeah, mostly around here. Mom says that we can't leave Trail's End, or at least unless we're going to work.
Where do you work?
Oh, Rello and I, we work at Uncle's place. We call him Uncle, but he's like a god uncle, I guess. He makes big carts and stuff.
Does it sort of ring a bell for me in that it's the it might be the cart merchant that I visited before?
Yeah, sounds like that sort of business.
Okay. Oh, cool. Does everyone
We don't do much. We just help. He just has us like gather tools and bring him stuff.
It's still an important job. Does Brianna work there too?
Oh no, Brianna works in the city.
Really? Do you know what she does?
I think she sells flowers.
Interesting. In what part of the city?
I think she goes everywhere.
Oh, that sounds like an important job.
Yeah, she says that if she sells enough flowers, it'll make everyone in the city beautiful.
It will certainly make the city a nicer place.
Yeah, sometimes we go out into the woods with her to help, like pick flowers.
Oh, you actually pick them too?
Yeah, they don't really grow super close to here, but
Like to the north, or to the east, or whereabouts?
oh, out to the east. We used to go a lot when Dad was still alive, but since Dad went away, we haven't been doing it as much.
Oh.
So she usually goes on her own or with some friends.
Do you know if she went picking flowers recently?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think she had a bunch of flowers that she was still trying to sell.
Okay.
I think she must have sold them because she said she had a lot of money.
Oh, wow. Did she sell them recently? Like in the last couple of days?
Yeah, yesterday she came back and she told us to keep it a secret from Mom, but she had a whole lot of money.
Wow.
And she didn't have her flowers with her, so I think she sold them all.
Well, don't worry. I'll keep your secret. But thank you for letting me know.
She said she was going to buy me a sweet roll with all the money that she got.
Well, hopefully we can make sure you get that sweet roll.
Yay! He jumps up onto the bed. Sweet roll, sweet roll. And he's just jumping.
Unless they volunteer for any other information, not necessarily going to push them. They're kids.
Yeah, you're not really able to get much else out of them. The last that they saw their sister was yesterday afternoon when she made these promises to them.
Making notes.
Yeah, they said
Oh,
she
cool.
found a whole bunch, or not found, but like had a bunch of money.
Okay. Well, I'll babysit so long as Grau is out working. But at some point, I will wander back upstairs to confide a bit with Regan and
All right.
let her know that kind of the high level details of what I've learned.
Oh. I think it shouldn't face the wall. There we go. It's like, what?
It's a very
Hello,
interesting window
Felix.
out there, I guess, or wall. But yeah, evidently, Brianna is often roaming the city, trying to sell flowers. So we can't necessarily put her at any one part of the city in the last couple of days.
Did you sell her flowers out of anything? Like a pouch or a sack?
Oh. She has a small cart that she usually wheels around, her mother
Ooh.
says, overhearing your conversation from the bedside.
I'm not trying to hide the conversation at all.
Is the cart here, like outside?
Oh, she thinks for a moment. I think it is. It usually is. Let me go check. And she'll go outside for a moment, or for a few minutes, come back. I don't see it. I'm not sure where it is. I thought it was there, but I've been so worried about her, I haven't thought to pay attention to it. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Is there anything else she usually takes out with her every time she goes?
Usually the cart, her purse. I usually tell her to bring a shawl and a scarf.
Do you have her purse?
I haven't seen it. Let me look. Maybe she left it in the bathroom? And she'll go check. And she's like checking all over for a few minutes. I can't find it.
It's putting a real damper on my plan. That's okay. She's also busy kind of treating... No laughter.
I
Busy
shan't
treating things. Let me object read Jason.
I didn't realize that's what you were trying to do.
Yeah. Okay. I was like, are you trying to stop me?
No, I was not intentionally trying to stop you, but when you said you were trying to do something, I was like, oh right, of course,
Yeah.
I forgot.
Let me read these objects. Don't make me drink the tea. I have the drugs on me to do it.
Okay, yeah, if you were doing treating disease, I want you to give me a medicine check.
I'm gonna harrow point my medicine because I don't want to accidentally kill her.
Hero point away, you're down to 3 now. After spending 1. And these should both be blind.
Right, here's 1, and then I'll do my second one. Whee!
Okay. Let's see. So that increases the saving throw that they have against the disease. All right. If that was a success, otherwise it could as much as cause a -2.
Ooh.
Let's see. That. Add this bonus or penalty. And see how she does. Okay. Over the course of the day, you're able to get her coughing a bit down. She's thrashing about less. She's not waking up, but it seems like she's a bit more calm. She's still coughing every once in a while, but it's not coughing so hard she's popping off the bed. The redness on her rashes has gone down a little bit, but it's still very, very, very red. But you've been able to wash off any of the dirt that's on her, get her clean. If you have reservations about touching her, then her mother will gladly help bathe her. There's a bath over here in this room.
Yes, that would be what I would do.
It seems like she should be able to survive through the night.
That's
She's still
good.
she's still in a bad way, but she seems to have succeeded her save.
I haven't killed her. There are a few narrow, I could have killed them, did not. Thank goodness. No trauma for us directly caused by us today.
Everyone sighs a sigh of relief in the room.
It's like, I'm not a real doctor, but I'm doing okay.
At various points during the day, Tace would have made food for the two of you. It's nothing to write home about. It's like stale bread and a simple soup that she cobbled together, but it's at least some kind of food. Unless you want to eat your rations, in which case you're more than welcome to.
The food is great.
I'd help
She
her in the
worked
kitchen if she'd
hard.
take the help.
Okay.
Ooh.
The food is, despite looking not great, Regan, there's actually a really good spicing to this soup. It's surprising given how kind of weak it looks. There's just it's a very robust flavor that she's managed to cook out of these vegetables. Maybe it's the stock, who knows. But yeah, you helped with the cooking as well, Felix. Mostly in a supportive way. She's doing the cooking and you're just helping her get cut things up and
Exactly.
throw them in pots and such. But all right. So, Brianna has survived the day. Would you like to stay the night at their house? If you want, you could stay downstairs with the kids. I usually sleep on the couch there, but I've been staying up here to keep Brianna company in case she wakes.
What do you think, Felix? Do you have to get back to your closing duties?
Lizzie and Children Flame are more than capable of running the place without me. Sometimes I think they do a better job when I'm gone. But if I'd stick around if you think you need my help. Otherwise, I might go back if only to gather some supplies you might need.
What is today?
He's leaving a rush.
21st.
Today is Oath Day. Tomorrow's Fire Day, which is Test Day.
The test is tomorrow. Damn it.
Do you need me to bring all your books?
No, I have to get to my test.
Oh,
What
gosh.
time?
You can take the test at any point during the day.
Yeah, that's the trouble. Is that what if tomorrow is a big day?
You
You know
can do it at
what?
night
So
too.
the week first.
Like the instructors are there. You can do it at any point tomorrow.
All right. Yeah, I'll stay the night. But if I miss my test, ooh, I'm gonna be cross at that cleric for wasting all his spells on people that aren't my patients.
All
I
right.
could have gone and called another cleric or something, but no. All right, yeah, I'll stay there to make sure he shows up. Who knows? Maybe someone will pay him more, and he'll be like, "Oh, I'll show up there instead."
Well, thank you so much, Miss Regan. All right.
Good night. Just sleeps on the floor. Not up here. She'll go down.
Sure. Okay.
Um,
So you go downstairs to sleep.
Yeah.
Felix,
Oh,
you're going
children are
back
here.
to the. Oh yeah, they'll sleep in their beds. They have small kids' beds here.
Yeah, if there's only one sofa, I'll leave it for Regan and head back to the script and scrimshaw.
Off you go. And
Oh, they don't have like 2 bedrooms. That's terrible.
no, they have they have a bedroom upstairs and they have a living room
No.
and a kitchen.
My
It looks like the 2
goodness.
children sleep downstairs. She sleeps on the couch. And Brianna sleeps in the bed. Upstairs. Alright. That leaves Tully. Your shift is over.
Mayhem has some questions for some guards who work at the lighthouse. So, judging by the fact that they're apparently assigned a full week of duty out there, Mayhem will be making his way back in the evening hours.
Alright. Go mayhem mode. What time would you be targeting?
Let's see. I think I would aim for around dinner time, if possible, or for around. Yeah, I think around dinner time would be my goal. If I know when approximately the guard shifts would separate for dinner to allow break, essentially to pick off one of them at a time, if possible.
Oh, do you mean like their dinner? Are you trying to catch them as they're starting their shift, or?
I'm trying to catch them in the middle of being separated. So my thought is, if one of them's separating for dinner to the other one.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, like a break. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Sure. That given that they're the late shift, that's probably happening around 11.
And I will be waiting until 11. I'll get there early too. I won't be
Okay.
there.
So you
at
get there
exactly-
early, presumably in disguise as Mayhem.
Yes.
There's 2 buildings for the Jagari Light. There's the main lighthouse tower, and then there's the guard building next door. Normally, the guards, while they're on work, or when they're working, they're in the tower. But they usually go into the guardhouse for meals and breaks and things. So yeah, you can hang out by a window, wait for one of them to come in for a little late night snack. Comes in with carrying a lantern. Let me see if I have a Coruscant guard. I think I do. You watch him from outside. You watch him enter the building. Close the door behind him. What do you do?
I think would already be inside the building then, behind the door, as he's closing it behind him.
Give me a stealth check.
Yeah, we'll see how well that goes. It's not the worst skill for me. It's not the greatest, but
It actually might be funnier if you're bad at not being seen.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be worse. 15.
15 versus his perception DC. Okay, you actually do catch him off guard.
Oh.
Huh? He whirls around in surprise, and I'll make him frightened. 2 as a result. Who the hell are you? Yeah, he'll draw his. Actually, he's too scared to draw his sword right now. He doesn't think to do it. He's got his lantern in one hand. He almost drops it.
I have questions for you.
I don't have to answer to you. State your name.
You're going to answer to me. And I will go to slap the light out of his hand.
All right, go ahead and give me a. I guess this is like a coercion, intimidate.
Yeah. Forgetting where my skills are. There they are. That one is better. That's a 30.
Yeah, that's a critical success. You knock the light out of his hand. The lantern falls onto the floor. Oil spills out. The light goes out. And he's shivering there in the dark. Sure, don't hurt me, please. I'll tell you anything. What do you want?
How much does it cost for you to have a shipload of people murdered?
Murdered? I don't understand what you mean.
What did you see last night?
Last night? Did you mean the black ship?
Yes.
I saw it just like I was told, and I rang the bell.
Who told that you were going to be seeing it?
Yes, I was told that it would happen any day this week.
And who told you that? Who told you that?
I don't know their name. They came to my house. They brought a bar of gold. I just wanted to feed my family. I can't. I have 6 kids. I can't feed them all on a guard's salary.
I'm going to punch the wall next to his head.
Ah! Please don't kill me.
Then give me something. What did they look like? What were they wearing? What did they sound like? Who were they?
It was a woman. Dark hair. Really rough. Scars on her face.
And she gave you a bar of gold and told you to expect this and ring the bell.
Yeah. She said as soon as I saw a ship with those markings, I was to alert the other guards.
I'm going to open the door.
Oh, you open the door and leave? Oh.
Yeah. If he was going to say something, I'll stop, but...
Oh, okay. Yeah. He was going to say, I didn't know if there would be people on it. I was told... I was just told to ring the bell. I didn't know they were going to shoot it or burn it.
What do you think happens when they ring the bell?
I thought they were just going to do a blockade. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you should be. You have blood on your hands now. And I will leave him in the darkness.
All right. Scared guard.
Yeah, interrogate the other one, but I think I have what I need for now. Does that description ring a bell? I'm trying to remember if we've seen somebody who has woman, dark hair with scars on her face. Does that describe?
The scars thing doesn't track with anything that I've written down, but I'm also 50% on notes.
You know a couple of women with dark hair. But none of them have scars on their face.
Yeah, that's the part that I was trying to remember if that was a notable feature for anybody, and I don't think so. Okay.
No. You know, Sabina has scars on her face. Sabina Marin, the
Oh.
guard of the queen. But I think she might be the only person you've met with scars on her face. Thousand Bones had tattoos. No one was... She's the only person with, like, memorable scars on her face.
I need to remember what she looked like. I don't know if I wrote that down.
She had, like, short blonde hair.
So, would not have been the same person.
No, you imagine not, unless she was dyeing her hair.
She was going in disguise, which
or
seems
wearing a
strange
wig,
for
which
somebody
is
who
possible.
It is possible.
Doesn't quite seem like her
It does. I was about to say,
MO,
it
but
seemed like her kind of thing to go in disguise like that, but that would also track with the not covering up the scars, but going with a wig, as though that will be the distinguishing feature. But
yeah, what you know and have heard of Sabina is that she is like incredibly like honor bound and kind of righteous. So that's not quite how she rolls.
then I'm going to spend the rest of the evening trying to track down information about a dark-haired woman with scars on her face, and see if that gets me anything, and specifically looking for somebody either aristocracy or adjacent thereto. Bars of
Okay.
gold are not something to be found on the regular.
I'm gonna have you pick a region of town to
Okay.
do that hunt in. It could be any of the like the big districts.
Mm-hmm. I'm
So like Old
thinking-
Corvosa, North Point, Thief Camp, Trails End, East Shore, Midland, Heights, South Shore, or the Grey District.
I think the Heights. Let me double check.
Yeah, the Heights is
players.
everything kind of like around and north of Castle Corvosa. So like the Academy, it's a lot of the richer homes in the Heights,
It's
Citadel
like how
Crest,
much-
Cliffside.
Yeah, it feels like a lot of this is relating to Castle Corvosa in a way I don't like. So I think starting around there is going to be where we go. People close to
Okay.
the Queen, or the Queen herself.
Sure. Go ahead and give me a diplomacy check then, if you're just kind of gathering information on any women, dark
Roll
hair,
a
and
point, I'll get
scars.
a point.
I'll accept the 24 there.
Okay.
I hadn't been saying the rolls. Oh no, you said the rolls. Never mind. Okay. Yeah, 24 on this diplomacy check. Asking around here, you haven't. I don't. Yeah, no one around here seems to know anyone of that description. One or two people might mention Sabina as like the prominent person they know or have seen who has scars.
Yeah.
But they haven't noticed anyone else like that. At least not with dark hair.
And it may in fact be Sabina doing something surprisingly uncharacteristic. Or it could just be somebody they don't know around here. Alright. I don't know how much time I have overnight, but I'll be spending most of my evening trying to track down more information about this person if possible. Though
Okay, I'll give you one more. You can try to do one more thing in a district.
Nay districts.
Yeah.
We will do Midland. Honestly, I think we're just going to kind of heading back towards the house.
Okay.
Trying to track
Same
down
sort of
what
thing. Try and
can.
ask around about this person.
Yeah, and this time we will do it properly blind, like we're supposed to.
All right.
Proper question marks.
Okay. Yeah, you ask around Midland, trying to get a sense of has anybody seen this woman? And one person tells you. Well, yeah, you don't find anybody who has heard of this person. You do find one person who said that his wife, he's like a dock worker, so you run into him somewhere over by the docks. He said that his wife got scarred up pretty bad recently, but she's got brown hair, or kind of light brown. I wouldn't call it dark.
Does he seem upset by the fact that his wife got scarred up pretty recently, or is this more matter of fact? The way
Yeah, he seems a little bit upset.
Okay, what happened? Like that? She got attacked, or?
No, she said she got it during the training. I'm not sure what kind of training they're doing over there.
Training for what?
Oh, you haven't heard? The Queen's new guard team, the Grey Maidens, they're calling it. My wife signed up. She's been doing training with them.
And they scarred her face as part of the training?
Well, she said it was an accident. She was doing some sword fighting and blade missed, but I can't believe they're fighting with real blades over there just during training.
That sounds reckless, to say the least, but...
That's what I told her, but she insisted it was an accident. We had a big fight about it, but I don't know. She's not one to care about stuff like that, so... I mean, if you ask me, it makes her a bit hotter. I mean, I like the scars, so... But I'm mad that she got hurt.
Well, hopefully she's able to stay out of trouble and not get into any more danger going forward, but...
I imagine with whatever kind of training they're doing over there, she's... I hope she's not going to get other people into trouble.
Well, if they're training with live weapons, they better be watching out. Sounds like both of my inquiries are leading to... Where was it? Longacre?
Yes, the Longacre building, which you would know is it's across the road from City Hall. It's right here, up in the north. North Point. The Longacre building is where... It's like the Supreme Court. It's where all the justices and... it's basically the courthouse.
Doesn't Felix know somebody who works there or is works near there?
Yeah, Felix knows the head justice, actually. Zenobia Zenderholm.
She took an interest in the case that ultimately resulted in my bar reopening.
Maybe worth inquiring in the near future.
She's also a very busy person.
But,
I wouldn't want to
think
bother her too much.
At this point in time, we're going to go pass out again tonight.
Yeah. You guys were slightly talking over to each other, so maybe you couldn't hear what each other was saying. I'm not sure.
Oh.
The summary was that Zenobia knows Zenobia had an interest in the Gadrin Lamb case and helped resolve that issue with his bar. But alright. So I think that'll handle what you guys see for that evening. it's time for the next day. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I guess back here. Well, I guess I'll start with Felix. What are you up to in the morning?
I think I would try to bring over sort of a care package. Everyone in that household seems overloaded in some fashion or another. So, like, prep some sandwiches and maybe bring some vegetables to help for dinner, and head over to try and relieve Regan, who will likely need to run off to lessons at some point.
Okay. So yeah, you come bearing supplies as early as you can finish you do your like morning prep, you package some stuff up, and you head over.
I might stop to go get see if there are any more anti-plague potions that I can pick up from the Gilded Knight, considering I just burned my last 2.
I believe those all got bought out.
Yeah,
And
I think Tully did the buying.
When you check, sorry, I haven't been able to get any in a little bit, and your friend bought them all out, so.
Well, thanks. Let me know if you happen to get any more, and I'd be happy to pick some up. But otherwise,
Sure thing, hon. Anything for you.
Oh. But yeah, I'll head over.
Okay. Tully, what do you do in the morning?
This morning, kind of want to.
I should actually check which day you died.
That's a good point. I don't think it's been a week, but we're close.
Yeah, I think we're close.
Either 5th or 6th day. I'm hoping 6th, but I think it might not be.
Okay, I'll check the episode later when I remember.
I'm pretty confident we're not there yet. I think we're close, but not quite. Unfortunately, a week feels so much longer when we have to, go the full
do
week.
every day. Yeah. Penalties of death. They're real.
Oh, stop killing me, gosh.
No.
Well, Tully this morning, once he manages to drag himself out of bed, I think he's actually going to head to the Script and Scrimshaw, escort Listy there, and just check in and see how everyone else is doing, because he doesn't know how everyone else is doing.
Okay. So when you arrive at the Script and Scrimshaw with Listy, you're kind of just catching Felix as he's getting ready to leave. He's like got a bundle of sandwiches and under one arm and a bag of some other stuff in the other.
Yeah, I'll stop and say hi and tell you what have you been up to the last couple of days?
Work. Just check.
Oh, your microphone just changed or something.
Yeah, you dropped out and then came back not the same.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, yeah, you're good now.
Okay. I don't. Yeah.
All right. Weird. Continue.
I don't know. Weird. So yeah, went. Did you hear about the ship that got sunk the other night?
I honestly didn't. I've been so busy helping Regan that I didn't know what happened.
There was a ship that sailed into the river earlier a couple nights ago, and got destroyed. It had yellow lanterns or torches, like the old plague ships used to.
Plague ship?
That's what they used to do. That might be what happened this time, but it's are there a bunch of people around? I don't know how busy it is on the street since we just kind of caught him on his way out.
There's nobody in. Shields from Flame is inside already. But otherwise it's just Mayhem, or I guess Tully, Listy, and Felix, and there's like a couple people walking down the street.
Yeah, but it's not
pretty
it's
far
not
away,
crowded.
but they're not right next to you.
I'll kind of pat Listy's shoulder and go on in. if you don't mind.
All right. And
Yeah,
she
we can
goes and gets to work.
Kind of start strolling with Felix for a little bit.
Totally. The timing of that plague ship is inauspicious. I've been with Regan at the home of Grau Saldero, the man who gave me a sword. We've been trying to treat one of their kids, Brianna, who has come down with an illness that Regan cannot identify.
Oh. Well, then maybe it was good that they sunk that ship. But that worries me for other reasons.
Indeed. We actually got to interact with a priest of Abadar who'd stated that this was not an isolated outbreak, that there are other people in the city who had begun to seek care.
Wait, yesterday?
Yes?
Just yesterday?
It was yesterday when I interacted with the priest, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
it was yesterday. Yeah.
Right. Did it sound like those events were limited to that day, or they had been happening a couple of days prior?
Based on some of the symptoms on the girl we're treating, it looks like she had been exposed a couple of days prior. Like there are some scratches that were
Several days.
several days beforehand.
So several days before a ship heralding itself as a plague ship sailed into and then was sunk in the river, people were already getting sick.
That is oddly coincidental.
Have you heard much about the Grey Maidens?
That's the regiment of the Queen, right? That's
Yes, with the very nice armor.
They've been setting up in the Longacre building, if I remember correctly.
Do you mind at some point? Doesn't have to be right away, but I wouldn't mind if you'd introduce me. You knew somebody who worked there, maybe still does.
Indeed, Zenobia. She's the chief justice there, and it was only by her kindness that I was able to get the scripted scrimshot reopened.
Well,
But what would you want to talk to her about?
Well, the ship being sunk was an incident that seems very manufactured. And currently the manufacturer seems to be related somehow to the Grey Maidens. Maybe.
Interesting. This seems like the sort of conversation that we might not want to have in the Longacre building.
No, but I wouldn't mind having conversation with some people. And if you can at least introduce us, perhaps we can actually get that conversation. I don't know if they'll talk to me otherwise.
Well, maybe I can send Zenobia a thank you note and invite her to be off the scripted scrimshaw and see if we can make that happen.
That could be nice. So we're coming over here to the bank for...
Oh, you just happen to be walking past the bank. Because you have to go through North Bridge and out that way. But this just happens to be the main street. As you approach the bank, you can see that there's a big crowd outside.
Oh, jeez.
The street is kind of like halfway blocked by people who are milling about, like trying to get into the there's it's sort of like a fancy building with columns and like a big set of steps leading down to the street. There's people all up the stairs up towards the entrance. There's some guards blocking the way inside, and just a full throng of people outside.
How
Oh
many of them
gosh,
look
this
sick?
is worse than it was yesterday.
You hear quite a bit of coughing, and it sounds like at least some of them are sick.
My instinct is we should go around rather than going through that mess of people.
Yeah, you have a good idea. We'll take the back alley and cut the corner to go to the North Bridge.
Okay, so you take the back alleys around the Bank of Abadar.
Yeah, not wanting to get into that mess, and like I didn't know if we had business there or not, but sounds like no.
This has been manufactured. Someone has a flair for the theatrical. This is upsetting the city something fierce. Because if it's like this at the Bank of Abadar, I can only imagine the other temples.
All right. Well, you continue your walk and eventually arrive at the Soldado home. Let me copy Mr. Mayhem. Or, where's...
Oh, I'm Tully now.
The
Yes,
respectable
that's true.
Tully.
Activate scene. Bring in Tully. Here's
Regan
Tully.
stares down the children.
Oh, inside. Where's the shrine? There we go. The children probably, unless you stop them, have
No.
gotten up and gone out to work.
Be free, children. To work?
Go work as you're
Yes, go work, children.
back to the mines with you.
The smaller creatures unnerve me.
So in the morning, right?
On.
Brianna seems stable. You have time to do your spell prep if you want.
Oh, bless. I did, and I did. And I used
Okay.
my little wand for my mystic armor. 'Cause who
Excellent.
knows who's going to
You're
break in
shimmering.
this house and punch me.
Okay, and
My
you're doing the treatment there. I guess before Felix and Tully show up, would be Mr. Ishani. Where is he? Actually, no, he hasn't shown up yet.
I knew it.
I'll make this easier for myself.
He doesn't know what first thing in the morning means.
He's sleeping in. I mean, actually, he's probably busy because there's a crowd of people outside his work.
All right, so it's like 9 a.m. by the time Felix and Tully arrive.
All these old people. How old? He was old. All these old people want to sleep in. Got Tully wants to sleep till 7 a.m. This guy's sleeping past 9. My goodness.
7 a.m.
I've been awake since 4.
Definitely wide-eyed, Regan.
Mm.
I've been
In the
up.
All right,
dark.
sorry. Are you guys going inside? Are you here talking to each other? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, I guess we'll go inside.
Okay.
Poor Regan.
Late as usual. Well, you two aren't late. I didn't even know Tully was coming.
I didn't either, but
Yeah.
sounds like you had something to do.
Yes. It's a horrible illness. I don't know what
Cure
it is. No, I don't know. I don't think so. Some guy's supposed to be showing up later to take all of my money and cure her.
Why are somebody taking all of your money?
Well, it's not all of my money. Well, they want payment. Or they won't do their spells. So
The
you have to
church does
bribe
cost.
them.
The church does cost, but
Man.
do you need money? I have some.
Oh no, I'm good. I was being dramatic about it. I just don't, you know.
You hear a rapid knocking at the door downstairs.
Oh, perhaps that's him.
I'll go down and see who it is.
Go and answer their door.
You go and answer their door. There's Ishani. He's sweating. He's breathing heavily. I'm sorry I was late. I got held up at the temple this morning. Things are quite bad. Is the girl okay?
She's okay. Regan was able to take care of her through the night. Please come in.
Yes. And he'll come in and close the door, and he'll follow you upstairs.
Ah, hello.
I'm sorry I was late. There was quite the mess at the vault today.
Yeah,
Seems
we saw on the way over.
Oops.
I'm afraid we haven't met. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
We're just bumping into each other, trying to make space in this like
Like,
very tiny house.
I'll go over here.
Tullios, Couldarn. Good to meet you.
Ishani Datri. Wait, actually, you look familiar. Have I seen you somewhere before?
I work with the guard. Do I recognize him?
You vaguely recognize him. You feel like you've seen him before. Maybe at the Sarenrae Temple? You're not sure. Well, in any event, I should get to casting this on her. I'll need a few things, and he'll instruct people to kind of move around and set some things up for him to set the spell casting, lay down some spell components on the bed, and then we'll begin focusing his energies on her for a few minutes. And just do his roll. Go.
Question marks.
Question marks.
No exciting sound effects, though.
No. A moment passes, so he puts his hands above the blanket, and they glow with a gold light. And that light then kind of pulses through her body, and there's like a shock, like she had just been hit with like a defibrillator. And then what? Where am I? And you see her eyes start to flutter open.
Ooh.
And she sits up slowly. Watch yourself. And he kind of catches her a little bit and like helps her sit upright. You're okay now. I think the worst is gone. What happened? You've been very, very sick, my dear. But everything's going to be okay now. What? Ishani looks to the rest of you. I think it worked.
I hope it worked.
He looks back to the girl, and she's like looking at her arms, and the big red welts have gone down. Her skin's still like a little reddish, but like where there were like pustules, that is kind of completely smoothed out. Brianna! And Tace will just like jump over the bed to hug her daughter. And she's crying, and Brianna seems like confused at what's going on. Perhaps I should give you some space. Come, we should let them be for a moment. And Ishani makes his way downstairs.
Alright,
Yeah.
I will also do that.
I'll head downstairs with him. My goal
Oh.
is to learn what he might have learned
Oh, yeah.
in the last day or so.
Ugh. He'll take a seat on the couch. That was draining, but I think it functioned.
Thank you for making it back in time. It really did seem like chaos and bedlam had broken out over at the Bank of Abadar.
Yes, the situation yesterday afternoon and this morning has just suddenly grown a lot more dire. I thought that Brianna was the only severe case, but suddenly this morning, many more began to pop up.
How many? Like dozens? Hundreds?
Nearly 100 between yesterday and today. Even some of the clerics have come down with it, to my surprise. They've already been healed, but when asked, neither of the two who had grown sick had even met any of the ill. They had been on other duties. This whole thing is perplexing. He looks at the three of you, somewhat weary.
I'm understand if you're tired from the last couple of days, but if there's any information you can share with us about where these cases have broken out, it might help us understand how this began. Like, if those priests weren't even assigned to heal people who were afflicted, do you have any idea where they were in the city?
Well, it seems what I mentioned yesterday is there's more truth to that than I thought. Almost all of the cases seem to be in Old Corvosa or North Point. Either they had spent time in those areas recently or lived there. It also seems to have spread through the lower classes the fastest. Most of the patients that I saw were people from poorer families, which is quite unfortunate, as they're the ones least likely to have the money to pay.
When we
So
had
what you're saying is that it's the fault of the clerics that this is spreading so fast because they demand money for their spells.
It's a possibility, yes, this is true. But even we had sent a messenger to the other temples to ask for assistance, but even they, Sarenrae, Pharasma, even Asmodeus, they've all said much the same thing, that they're being overwhelmed with cases at the moment. It doesn't matter whether or not they can pay or not. We clerics only have so many spells that we can cast per day before our energy runs out. I made sure to save one today for Brianna because I knew her case was so bad, but I'm afraid that's my last spell for today.
I guess that's true. If everyone's being overrun, there's no amount of money that can help when there's no spells to go around.
Yes, and unfortunately, it's the ones who can pay the most who get the front line, or get to the front of the line. He sighs and just looks down at his hands.
When we had a chance to look at Brianna, we'd seen some evidence that her case had actually begun days before. Did you get an inkling from any of the other afflicted about when some of them had begun to their first symptoms?
They all seem to have started showing signs within the last 2 days or so. Many of them can't remember, and many have fallen unconscious. So it's mostly through their family members that we've been communicating.
Understood.
But
Thank
yes,
you for all this.
it seems like all of the cases have started this week. The times vary, but I know Archbanker Tuttle is already trying to work with the other faiths, but I wish there was something else we could do, like
Archbanker.
involve. Yes.
Just trying to let it go, but
Yes, the Archbanker is the head of the Avatar Church here. Yes, Archbanker Tuttle is trying to work with the other faiths, but that's not going to be enough. If only I could speak with the Corvosan Guard or the Queen's new agents, the Grey Maidens, maybe we could set up something more efficient to treat the ill.
Oddly, we might be able to actually help with that.
What? How so?
We have maybe a favor or two that we can call in. Because we've helped out the guard on a couple of occasions, and I think if all you need is a conversation, we could at least get that much to happen.
Oh, that would be great if I could meet with the field marshal. Perhaps we could arrange some better communication lines between the others, and set up temporary housing for the sick.
I definitely think we can make that happen. We've helped Field Marshal Croft before, and we could. I think she would at least take our meeting, and it sounds like just the simple act of coordination could do a lot of good.
That's splendid news. If you would mind escorting me there, I would most definitely like to speak with her.
Of course, when you feel up to it, we can leave.
As you say that, you hear some small footsteps coming down the stairs. As Brianna and her mother make their way down.
looking fit.
Oh, thank you. Miss Regan, Mr. Daughtry, thank you. Thank you for saving me.
Oh. Don't mention it. We're just trying to get to the bottom of why everyone's getting so sick.
Well, if there's anything that I could do to help you all, I am forever in your debt. If you need any cooking, perhaps, I'm a decent enough cook.
Ooh,
Well, thank you.
The delicious soup.
Yes, I know how to make soup and other dishes if I can find the ingredients. It's a bit difficult these days, especially with very little money and no job anymore.
Do you need a proper chef for the script and scrimshaw?
Indeed. The soup you made yesterday was fantastic, and if you could make food like that on the regular, the script and scrimshaw would be that much more amazing for it.
Oh, the scripted scrimshaw? Sorry, what's that?
That's the bar, restaurant, inn, public house that I operate over in the Midlands.
Oh, it's not too hard to get to the Midlands, and that's the shorter trek than my previous job. And it sounds better than working for nobles. I'll do it, if you would hire me, that is.
Of course. You can start whenever Brianna's feeling well enough to be left alone and run of the house. And until then, I brought some supplies so that you can at least make a few good meals.
Oh my gosh, you really shouldn't have, but thank you so much. And she'll kind of take the supplies and make her way into the kitchen to kind of start setting them out. Are you like a magical cat? Brianna looks up at you.
It's like, consider that she is a teenager. I am a wizard.
Oh.
Yes.
Wow. You must be really smart to be a wizard.
Yes. She beams at that. She's like, yes, I am one of the smartest students at the academy. In the top 100 of my class, in fact, or the whole school. I can never remember because the person who plays me can't remember. Whole
It's the school.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's not that many students at the school, basically.
Oh, there's
But yeah.
thousands of students at the school. No, there's only 100 students, and
That list includes alumni.
Oh, hell yeah! I'm smarter than the alumni.
Heck yeah.
Yes.
Wow, that's so cool. I want to go to the academy one day.
Yes. Everyone should go to the academy. You can learn summoning. You can learn healing. That's how I helped you. This guy even knows some magic, and that's how he saved you. Magic is great.
Indeed, if you are willing to learn and apply yourself, there's no reason why you couldn't. Really? If I could learn magic, maybe I could help my mom more, and then we wouldn't have to live here. And we could get a new house, a nice house, where we could have our own beds.
Yes, that would be great. Regan's like, I just live in a dorm room. She's like, well, I do have my own bed. So, yeah.
Well, if there's anything I can do for you, let me know.
If you remember anything that you were doing either before you got sick or like right around when you got sick, and it doesn't have to be right now, but if you remember anything at all, you can let us know, because it might be very helpful in figuring out why people are getting so sick.
Okay. I don't remember right now, but I'll try to think about it.
Yes, don't stress yourself out too much right now.
Okay. Yeah, you can see that she's clearly still a bit tired. Maybe I should get some more sleep. and
Yes,
chill.
that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
Sleep, hydrate, eat.
You say these things to her as she
Yeah.
makes her way up the stairs. I will, don't worry. She's a sweet girl. Well, if you're ready, shall we be off?
Yes, let's head out to meet the field commander. The door.
Farewell. Tace will wave you off.
Bye.
Bye. And
For
take care of
now.
yourself and Brianna. Whenever you're
She
ready.
knows how to find the script in Scrimshaw. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll describe where the script in Scrimshaw is.
Yeah, you give her the address and information, and she'll scribble it down on a sheet of paper or parchment if she has one. All right, and you head out. Close door, and off you go.
Does Regan need to go do her
My
exam?
test! God damn it, it's my test day.
If you need to split off, I can handle the conversation with Krista.
Are you sure?
Oh, I'm sure I'll stumble over my words as usual, but we'll get there.
Yeah, you'll do great. All
Yeah,
right,
he does.
yeah.
Much better.
Regan's like, I have to go take my test. And I'll meet
Priorities.
you there.
All right. In that case, the group splits.
Ooh, I'm gonna fail my test
Nah,
on
succeed.
purpose. No, I
Gasp.
wouldn't do that. It's like Dark Reagan. I failed my test and I didn't even go to class.
If anything, you should get credits for the practical application you just demonstrated.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sadly, that wasn't of magic.
no, it's very practical indeed.
Okay, so half of the group is going to... Oh, more than half the group. All of the group minus one is going to the Citadel. And Regan is going off to...
The water.
The Academy. Throwing you in the water so that I can zoom out and then throw you over the Academy. There you go. You're on your way.
There I go.
All right. So, as you arrive at the Citadel, let's see. Sorry, I was double checking something.
No problem. We'll pass all of our friends we've managed to get into jail as we
You
fill
wind
this
your way
place up.
Just staring daggers. It's fine.
Just lots of love both directions.
Trying to check if this is. Okay. All right. Yeah, you arrive at the Citadel. The guards are quiet. Everyone's kind of whispering in hushed tones. Things, it seems like knowledge about whatever this illness is starting to spread throughout the city. People seem concerned. It seems actually like a bit thinned out here today. The guard has already been kind of thinned out by almost half of its membership leaving for the Grey Maidens, but today it's like half of that even. It's quite thin in here. Very few people are around. You wind your way up the stairs, and eventually make your way to the field marshal's office. You knock. Sorry, I'm a bit busy at the moment.
We're sorry to bother, but I promise we'll be quick.
Oh, Felix, is that you?
Indeed.
Come in.
Well, thank you. Sorry to take up your time.
Sorry, I thought it was a messenger from the castle. Things have been rather hectic here as of late.
Corvosa seems to never earn itself a quiet moment. But please, I'd like to introduce a new friend we made just the last couple of days, Ishanti.
Ishani. He
Ishani.
corrects you. Ishani Datri, cleric of Aberdar. Pleased to make meet your acquaintance, Miss Croft. Yes, I suppose it seems you know who I am, and she'll take a hand and shake. I suppose you hear about this illness that's been going around. You guessed correctly, he says, as he makes his way to, I guess he'll try to, take a seat, and you hear his little keys jingle as he does. I apologize for the sudden meeting, but I was hoping that we could arrange some kind of coordination with the guard and the churches, or cathedrals around the city. We're currently getting very overwhelmed by all of the patients, and it's a bit chaotic trying to deal with them. We can only heal so many at a time with our magic, and what's left we have to treat with medicinal means, but we aren't really stocked up on supplies, and it's hard to keep everyone's expectations managed, and look, I understand. I'll see what I can do, then, about arranging for... She seems to have kind of, lost her train of thought there. I'm sorry. Yes, right. Why don't I have some guards speak with you, right now, actually? Felix, Tullios, would you mind waiting here a moment? I actually had something I was hoping I could talk to you about.
Yes, ma'am.
Of course.
And she will leave the room, with Ishani. And leave you there for a moment.
Do you think that she'll be able to help?
I hope so.
I'm getting the impression the guard is already overwhelmed. I don't know how much more we have to spare, but...
I feel like the city is stretched thin all over, and she'll try her best, but with limited resources.
Yeah, that's what she's talking to us about.
Hopefully we can help.
Well, a few moments later, Miss Croft re-enters the room and takes a seat at her desk. I've assigned some guards to help him coordinate as best we can with what limited resources we've got, but I hope it'll help make a difference. Sorry for keeping you here. What do you make of all this? She says, gesturing at the air.
Going to look at Felix and... I suppose, yeah, let him respond first.
It's all awfully well put together. A ship comes into the city bearing a black flag and torches and gets shot down. And days later, we are dealing with a plague, or what feels like one at least.
Hardly days. And it sounds like some of these issues erupted before the ship was shot down.
That's interesting. So you've already heard about the disruption, then?
The disruption?
Direction?
Is that what you said?
Yes, the ship that was sunk. My men, I was able to... One of the soldiers, guard members, was able to read the markings on the side of the ship. We identified it as the Direption, Direption.
And confirmed it's from Nidal?
That we're still working on. And actually, if you're interested, I was hoping that we could do a bit more investigation into that. I've got some concerns that these things happened so close together. Like you said, there's... It feels like more than a coincidence, but I suppose if some of the cases have started before the ship arrived, then maybe it's nothing? She's just like looking down, looking up, tapping her cheek.
Or maybe someone's putting on a show.
Maybe.
Because it definitely has, like, both people rushing to the temples to seek treatment, and people concerned.
Yeah. Well, at the very least, the ship is a clue, potentially. And I'm hoping that maybe you'd be interested in looking into it for me. And I mean that in a literal sense, she says after a pause.
I thought it sunk. Is some part of it still around?
No, but that's something that magic can deal with, she says. She opens a drawer, pulls out a small crate, or like small wooden box, opens it, and there's 6 vials inside. These are water-breathing potions. I had them procured this morning, and I was going to arrange a guard unit, but, well, now that you're here, I was wondering if you'd mind asking Mayhem to take a look for me.
I'd certainly be happy to ask him. This seems like something important enough that he would take an interest.
I don't know if there's anything to be found there, but even if it's unrelated, something about that ship strikes me as odd. I read your report, Tully, and I agree that the way the guard handled it is... Well, actually, what would you have included in the report?
The official report would have mentioned that the guard on duty for the lighthouse were overly specific in their reporting, which was of concern in terms of its accuracy, but also the sudden, quick reaction to destroying the ship made it very difficult to track down any actual evidence of what concerns there may have been, whether lives were lost unnecessarily, that sort of thing.
Okay.
Focus primarily on the fallout from a failure in chain of command, basically.
Yeah.
Scathing.
Yeah, I agreed with your assessment, and I've put the responsible parties on temporary leave while we investigate further, but if there's anything interesting on that... Well, if that ship is connected, there's got to be something interesting down there. I know it's a little bit of a stretch, but I don't really have any other leads at the moment. So, if he or you are able to take a look, report back any findings, that would mean the world to me.
We'll take care of it.
Thank you, Felix. And you, Tully. Thanks for helping them out so much. I know it's not really in your job description, and
It's hard not to feel indebted to the people who saved my daughter, and they're good citizens. I don't mind.
well, keep up the good work. I know I yelled at you the other day, but
I deserved it, so thank you, ma'am.
no worries. Well, I suppose it's time to get back to work. I have a lot to deal with the new Grey Maidens.
Is there a commander in the Grey Maidens with a scarred face? besides
Commander...
Sabina?
Oh, I was going to mention Sabina.
Black hair,
Black
maybe?
hair? I'm not sure. I haven't met many of the maidens without their helmets on. It seems to be a strict code that they're enforcing over there. Something about togetherness or unity or something.
Fair. Well, I had heard something, was wondering if that person even existed, so sounds like fair.
Not that I'm aware of. Sabina's been in charge of arranging a lot of things with them lately. Well, at least until Mrs. Zenobia got involved.
The Justice?
Yes, it was quite odd. Mrs. Enderholm was... we were at a meeting to discuss potential housing locations and training facilities for this new unit of the Guard, and Mrs. Enderholm was in attendance and was quite happy to let them take over the Longacre building for the time being. She said cases had been, court cases had been, by and large, postponed due to the ongoing strife, and they'd have the ability to deal with any court cases over at City Hall instead in the meantime, but... And from what I recall, Mrs. Zenobia herself has eased up on her justice duties and has been doing a lot of work with the Guard, with the Grey Maidens, rather, in recent days. I'm not sure in what capacity, though.
Tully's just looking over at Felix to gauge his reaction.
Yeah, Felix is outwardly trying to play it cool, but, like, this is new information. The fact that Zenobia seems to have become a member, if not a member, then certainly a friend of the Grey Maidens. sort of changes some of the mental equations going on upstairs.
Yeah, it seems perplexing, to say the least.
It doesn't track with the person that I know. But it's thank you for letting us know. The Grey Maidens certainly seem to be doing a lot of odd things as of late, and this just adds one more to the pile.
Certainly, it's very odd, but I can't say that their methods aren't effective. If you haven't seen them, they've been quite efficient in stopping crime. It's surprising for how fast they're training their members, but
Crime has been dropping in areas where they've been deployed.
yeah, in fact, the Queen is considering sending the Hell Knights back to Citadel Vraid.
Interesting.
She says that if the Grey Maidens continue to perform at this level, then she has no need for them, and potentially no need for the Guard at some point. I think the idea is to eventually phase us all out.
Where exactly have the Grey Maidens been deploying around the city that they have seen
Why
so
did I
much
just lose
success?
Alex?
Various places. They've been taking up a lot of the crime investigations and riot control that the Guard used to handle in the last couple of days. And certainly those riots have been quieted rather quickly. They're nothing if not efficient.
What methods were they using for quelling these riots? Were they overly violent, or were they actually able to disperse them properly?
Not nearly. No, violent. No, intimidating, a bit, but I think intimidation is maybe the primary thing. They're quite imposing figures, and
That they are.
It doesn't take much to a little bit of roughing up on a riot leader or two, and the rest seem to bow down pretty quickly.
I'll say.
There was a riot last night at the castle, or in front of the castle, and that was put out almost within seconds once the Grey Maiden showed up, or so I'm told.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate the information.
You're welcome. And I'll let you know if I learn anything else. And please, if you manage to... Oh, you do know where the ship went down, right?
I saw where it sunk. I
Okay.
happened to be out that night, so...
Oh, good. Well, then I wish you luck. Just be careful, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
And tell Mr. Mayhem to be careful as well. And thanks. Sorry for leaning on him so much.
Just look at Felix.
He seems to love to do good for the city, and while the craziness seems to be going on, this can be one more way for him to do good. And plus,
Well,
Regan's gonna love the fact that we get to go swimming.
Oh, is she a fan?
No, not in the slightest. Hates it. Hates it to her very core.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Well, sorry, it completely slipped my mind, but I don't know if you've heard, Thousand Bones was accepting of his grandson's body.
Good.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that.
I meant to tell you sooner, but things have just been so crazy around here, I haven't had the chance.
There was an explosion the other night.
It's okay. I think Shields from Flame had also mentioned something about them going on a bit of a journey to see those remains to rest.
Oh, yes, it seems like many of them have returned to the Cinderlands for some time. I'm not sure when they'll return, but at least it gives the city a bit of a break on that regard. Thousand Bones was kind enough to take the most rowdy of the bunch with him.
At least one problem the city's facing seems to have resolved to a happy end, or as happy as it could be.
For now, but ultimately the Queen needs to do something to make this whole thing more sustainable. We need to be able to give the Shawanti safe spaces and jobs and start anti-discrimination campaigns, but we haven't been able to fund any of that in quite a long time.
Maybe once the city is no longer in chaos. But
If that'll
I
ever
don't
be
think
the
it's tomorrow.
case. Well, at ease. I need to get back to writing this report.
yes, ma'am.
Best of luck.
She nods. And you leave.
Creative water breathing potions. It's gonna be so much fun.
Well, they'll be useful.
All right.
Water spell, though, is I think what we're going to need for Regan. Something to
Possibly.
prevent it from getting on her at all.
No water. Ugh.
Just a big bubble, like twice her size.
Mm-hmm. It's like I know it's out there.
Reagan.
Oh, I'm so happy knowing that there's no water near me next to this
Exactly,
water
except the
feature.
fountain. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I can't, I'd have to really try to drown in the fountain.
Say that like Reagan's tried.
It's like, just
Reagan
looking
tried
at
out the fountain just to see if it was super dangerous and confirmed. Potentially.
Go ahead and
Founder
roll
out
me. Could you roll me a 1d7? 1d8, sorry. 1d8.
Wee. A 2.
A 2. 1, 2. Today's a divination test. At the Hall of Seeing.
Oh.
I've actually marked all the buildings now. I forget if I said that last time.
Yes.
Alright, you make your way to the Hall of Seeing. The instructors are doing their various divination tests. Things like basic scrying and using scrying devices and fortune telling and augury and that sort of stuff. So, I guess when you're ready, go ahead and give me an academia lore to take a test. Or wait, is that what I did? Or did I do Arcana? I forgot what I said. Let me check. Google Docs. Back to my doc. I should put it in Foundry. I keep saying that. I keep saying a lot of things.
I keep meaning to open all the docs before, and then I don't.
It's my fault for having 50 docs instead of, 2 docs. If I type Reagan, that'll give it to me. Academy system. There we go. Alright. Test. What did I say? Weekly exam, once per week on fire day. Yeah, it takes 4 hours at the Academy. It's an Arcana check.
Okay.
DC is the standard DC for your level. You are level 5. Is that correct?
Yes.
Here's my DC chart. I can tell you the DC. Standard DC level 5 is DC 20. And I don't think you
20?
did any particular studying this week.
No.
Okay.
I was busy. Does this give me a... It'd help if I could open it. Ah, I see. It's because I didn't open. Okay, it's only learning. That's what I needed to know. Give me Arcana. Is it good or will I... What was the DC?
It was DC 20, so a 23
I got
would
23.
succeed, but not critically succeed.
It's okay. I will
All
just succeed my test.
Acceptable.
Having not explicitly studied for the test, you do manage to solidly pass.
Push.
You earn AP equal to half your level, so you get 2 AP for this exam.
Did get my little chart.
+2 here. Okay. And
You
I'll
did.
track that later. I just put it at the bottom, but it should go here. 6.
Ah,
okay.
there I am.
All right, so you've got, you had a crit last week's and a success on this one. All right. Yeah, the divination test is fairly straightforward and fairly simple. Most of the stuff you didn't need to study because fairly basic. You're able to intuit the things that you didn't know already. You don't manage to get the advanced questions, but that's fine. That's extra credit. And walk out
Ooh.
4 hours later.
One. Where am I? 55. Over here now. Wee. 90th place.
Ooh. You passed some people. I think I owe you some descriptions of things that are beyond
Yeah, that's fine.
where you were. I need to
I'm
finish updating
hauling.
the systems. All right, you're making some progress. Okay. Well, with that, what do you do now that you're done with the test?
Oh, my test was great because I'm so smart. I should find out if my friends had a good meeting, so she'll contact them to see where they are with the Harrow deck. Where are you?
Where are you guys?
Are you done with your meeting?
Yeah, where do we go from here? Felix? To the bar?
Yeah, if only to think for a minute. Before I heard all that about Zenobia, I was all set to invite her to dinner at the Script and Scrimshaw. But now I'm sort of wondering how exactly that moment would play out. Do you still want to make that introduction?
I kind of do. But maybe not. I don't know. I do, but I don't. If that makes any sense, I'm concerned about tipping our hand of how much information we have, if there's information had. But I'm also just being overly suspicious because something is happening and I don't understand what.
Understood.
Oh my goodness.
If you want to set it up, I can like put the word out and try to send her a letter and see if we can set up a time, ostensibly thanking her for all of her help getting the Script and Scrimshaw up and running again.
Who the fuck is coughing?
While you're sitting there in the Script and Scrimshaw, Felix, you look over and see one of the people sitting at one of the tables by the door is coughing quite a bit and scratching their arm.
Yeah.
By the scruff of the neck and throw them out. Is that appropriate?
With compassion,
So, not by the scruff of the neck.
I will try and help this person understand that they maybe need to go see the nearest priest of whatever denomination they choose.
Okay, so you're gonna go up and confront them directly.
And try and ask them if they need any help, if just and kind of but make it clear
huh?
that we kind of need them to go.
Oh, I'm fine, man. I just need a bit of water. I have some allergies this morning. Ugh, it's quite bad.
Knowing what I know now about all the symptoms involved, can I do a quick medicine check to see if I see things like rashes or?
You don't need to do any kind of check. You can see he's got short sleeve shirt on. You can see some pretty nasty big boils on his arm that he's scratching.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but this is a public establishment, and
people with allergies aren't allowed to eat in a public establishment.
Allergies don't traditionally cause boils and rashes.
That's nothing. I just fell. It's fine.
Yeah, you need to leave, buddy.
Yeah. Kind goes to Firm. We're happy.
Is this man causing a problem? Shields from Flame will step up.
He was just leaving.
He may need a hand.
The two of you staring over him. Fine, I didn't want to come into this stupid restaurant anyway. And he kind of mumbles to himself, coughs on his way out, stumbles out the door.
He's gonna be the guy who leaves like the worst Yelp review, and then you have to go on like the counteroffensive because, yeah, no, the guy was a jerk, but of course he's gonna write that review. Ugh.
You know, there's always one of them, and honestly, sometimes you have to pick your restaurants knowing that some reviewers are just complete idiots.
That's fair.
Oops.
I'll try and like direct him to if not, I think the Bank of Abadar is maybe a little cutthroat. But to the nearest temple.
Okay. Sorry, you were suggesting that he goes to the nearest temple.
Correct.
Okay.
Maybe the the Cathedral of Pharasma, or
just leave me alone. I'll go where I want.
Okay, buddy.
This is a free city.
Certainly is. Take care of yourself.
He flips you off as he walks
Yeah.
down the street.
Thanks for the cold bird, my dude. You
What
can't
was
take
that
it
about?
personally.
Shields from Flame seems a bit confused.
When you run a public establishment, you're always going to get all kinds. You can't take moments like that personally. Guy looks like he was in a bad way, but at the same time, you can't have him in here getting other people sick.
You want me to kick out sick people?
When they're belligerent and don't acknowledge what's going on. But my hope would be to try and direct them towards getting care. I would just as happily aid them to the extent that we can. But I also don't want to get other people sick.
So the answer is yes.
It's a long yes, but it doesn't include immediately like that particular person chose the way that interaction went.
Just tell me what you want me to do, boss.
Yes, ultimately, like we need to keep the place a restaurant where people want to go to, and that can't be a plague house. But at the same time, don't be brutal about it as much as you can.
Mandatory masking.
I think masking would actually be a good idea, and if we can get the supplies to have it on hand to give to those who don't have them, all the better. It would probably reduce confrontations like that.
Well, you don't have those supplies, I suppose.
No, but I'll.
I have a rubber mask.
Stop.
Tully pulls it out and offers it.
You know, maybe we'll offer those to our most special of guests.
Is that gonna help? Shields from flame points at the mask.
It'll at least be good
I
for
don't
a
know.
laugh. No, but I don't know. I want to say I'll go to the Gilded Knight and see what I can buy, but like her supplies are dwindling like everyone else's. This may be a case where I just need to go buy some cloth and make some masks myself.
All right. Well, I mean, you can certainly go out shopping and try to find some stuff.
I would first try to go buy some like medical masks, pre-made. Certainly easier than trying to make your own.
All right. Well, so Felix is going to go off and do that. Exits the bar.
Hand
Is Tully going
sanitizer.
with, or
Yeah,
behind?
I suppose getting some supplies would be a good idea.
Oh, I guess around here is as you're getting ready to leave Felix is when Regan is done with her test and asks you where you guys are.
Oh, through Zalara? Or...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shopping. Near the Script and Scrimshaw?
Oh, you're shopping.
We're looking for masks, hand sanitizer. It seems like this is gonna probably get a little bit worse before it gets better.
Medical supplies.
If you have a lead on a source.
No, I was just curious if you got any information when with your visit to the Citadel.
You should meet up with us. You're gonna be overjoyed to hear what we get to do.
I can't hear his tone because it's not him saying it directly to me. So I'm like, well, maybe I
Correct.
will be quite happy. That sounds. Well, I don't know what it could possibly be, but Zalara sure made it sound nice.
Yeah, Zalara's
Oh.
tone is a lot more neutral in that regard.
That's great news. So Regan will
Make her way downtown, walking fast.
can't wait to be disappointed.
Well, and I think
Oh.
as you
Oh. Gone too
group,
far.
as you
What?
make your way down to the Script and Scrimshaw to meet up with the others before they go medical supply shopping, I think that is where we should probably call it for tonight. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Hope you had a lovely evening. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're back next week, right?
I think so.
Double check. My schedule. What is this? This is this day, the 16th. Yeah, we're good for next week and the week after, hopefully. So, tune in next time on Third Action. Will the group be able to find the medical supplies they need to stop the spread? Or will more victims of whatever this mysterious illness is occur and be claimed, have their lives be claimed? Yes.
Yes.
Accurate answer, yes.